We're going to start with a big topic of conversation this past week with the Cleveland Indians team name being changed to the Cleveland Guardians, as they will be known in 2022. The Cleveland Guardians. Look, when I initially heard that, my thought was kind of, meh, I don't really love that. But look, I put a lot of thought into this, and it's impossible for there to be a team name for so many years, and then you get and you hear a new name change, and just to be like, oh, I love it. It is so hard to come up with a classic team, a name that sounds classic. So I've grown to appreciate the name that they are going to be called, the Cleveland Guardians. And look, I wanted to point out one thing with this logo that we have up on the screen right now. It's the logo with the baseball and the Cleveland Guardians G. One thing I thought was really cool about this logo is how the G is almost gripping the baseball like it's a fastball. And I didn't realize this off the top. I just kind of glanced over the name and all the logos. I really like this. And look, the Guardians isn't just a random team name for Cleveland. If you look into it, there's a lot of history behind this. The bridge that actually leads you to their stadium is surrounded by these Guardian statues, the Guardians of Traffic, as they are known of. So there is a good bit of history behind the name. I've grown to like the logos. The script, the writing is the same as the current team name. So look, I don't love it. It is definitely going to take some getting used to. But look, it is what it is. 2022, the Cleveland Guardians will be taking the field in Cleveland. So good news for them. Good stuff there. So heading on over to second base, the Giants and the Dodgers. Look, this series this past week was incredible. I've been telling you guys for a while now, the Giants are here to stay. Everyone was saying, Padres, Dodgers, Padres, Dodgers. The Giants are here. The Giants aren't going anywhere. They played some incredible games against the Dodgers this past week. But there were some, it wasn't without its drama. Kenley Jansen, the closer for the Dodgers, blew 2 games. I was watching both of those games, and it came down, they had a lead going into the 9th. He blows both the games. And one was a homer, and one he just totally fell apart. It was not pretty. He ends up not even making it out of the 9th inning. And the Dodgers blew 2 leads. 2 leads against the Giants, so they furthered their lead in the NL West. But look, one thing I wanted to really talk about here is there was a check swing in one of these games that well, it led to all of these runs being scored. So this check swing happened with 2 strikes in the 9th inning with 2 outs, and the game would have been over. Okay, game over. The check swing, he actually went. If you break it down, you slow it down, he ends up going. They say no. Dave Roberts comes out of the dugout fuming, throwing his hat, pointing in the guy's face, very disrespectfully. He gets tossed, and you know what happens next? Of course it's what happens next. 2 RBI single to left field. Game changes right there. Giants end up winning the game. Kenley Jansen blows the save. The umpires screwed him out of a win. Everybody's furious. But look, if you want to really talk about it, 2 pitches before was called a strike, and it was actually a ball. So look, I understand everybody being frustrated about this. It ended up looking really bad because he got the hit right after that. But it brought me to another point that I want to make very clear. This is one of my hottest, most passionate takes in all of baseball right now. And it has to do with that check swing that we saw. In that check swing, they actually did ask the first base umpire, did he go? He said no. The guy got the call wrong, but it got me to thinking, and it happened a few times this past week. We need to stop making the call as a home plate umpire, whether the batter swung or not. I played this game for a long, long time, and nothing got me more fired up than knowing that I didn't swing the bat, and the home plate umpire points at me and says, yes, he did. And I'd turn right back around and say, no, I didn't. Just ask the first base umpire. It's not hard. There were a few instances this week where that home plate umpire comes out, makes the call, and the batter's furious, and rightfully so. I don't even care if I did go. I just know that you can't see it behind the plate. You can't see it to make that call. And there's a guy 90 feet away that's watching me specifically just to see whether I went or not. Just ask him. And this situation in this game really got me to thinking about that. And there was another instance this week where the home plate umpire made a call when the batter did not swing. And he made the call on his own. And it was a big game-changing call. And he said, yes, he did. And it really just grinds my gears, man. I get so fired up about this. I'm tired of it. Just ask the first base umpire for help, okay? Super easy. All right, on to third base. Yermin Mercedes of the Chicago White Sox. One of the coolest stories in all of baseball this year. He comes over to the White Sox as a Rule 5 pick, okay? Rule 5 guy. He's a little older as a rookie, and he tears the league apart. Absolutely destroys it. Gets a hit in his first 8 professional major league at-bats. 8 for 8 to start his career, and he just keeps tearing it up. He has an incredible first month and a half of the season. And then we all know what happened. We all know the story of what happened here. Tony La Russa, Yermin Mercedes hits the 3-0 home run, and he's on top of the world, rounds the bases, game over. They win 50-0 that game, and they come back in, and Tony La Russa says, I don't love that. That will not happen again. That will not happen again under my watch. And look, I'm not going to debate that back and forth. I have my opinion on it, which I've talked about here a lot. But post that situation, Yermin Mercedes really struggled. He really struggled. He ends up getting sent down to the minor leagues where he's there for a few months. And then it leads up to this week where Yermin Mercedes, a member of the AAA team for the White Sox, says in an Instagram post, it's over. I'm done. I'm retiring. I'm leaving the game of baseball, at least for a while, is what he said. And it kind of sends people into a frenzy online. It's like, what do you mean it's over? You were great, and then you struggled, and now you're down in the minor leagues. You're playing just fine. What do you mean it's over? So it came out later. Later that night, Tony La Russa makes a statement about it and says, look, I'm going to call him. I'm going to talk to him. I believe he has a future in this game, and I'm going to call him and tell him that. And that was kind of all from that day. So in that day, Yermin Mercedes announces his retirement. Tony La Russa says, no, I'm going to call him, see what I can do, talk to him. Fast forward to the very next day where Yermin Mercedes unretires, announces it in his Instagram post with this phoenix rising up from the ashes, like he's Michael Jordan returning, saying, I'm back. But Yermin Mercedes with the post announcing after less than 24 hours that he is coming back and he will actually be back. And he suited up for the AAA Charlotte Knights that night, and he was back in uniform. So all in this 24-hour span, he hinted at retirement. He retired. Tony La Russa says, what's going on here? He unretires, and then he plays in the game that very next night. I have an opinion about this, obviously, and it's that, look, I firmly believe what Tony La Russa said to him when he was still in the major leagues and on top of the world resulted in him struggling. I truly believe that from the bottom of my heart, that he struggled because of that, and he ends up going on a downhill spiral and gets sent to the minor leagues, and then all this happens. But here's what I am here to say now. Yermin Mercedes needs to be mentally tougher, okay? I do believe him getting told that he was in the wrong resulted in him struggling, and it's mental. Baseball is so mental. But for all this to happen, he needs to be tougher. And from my experience, and look, I know this better than anybody. I played professional baseball, and I couldn't separate, and I couldn't get to where I needed to mentally. When I struggled, I really struggled. So I know that this game now is all about being mentally tougher than that next guy. And this is not it. This isn't being mentally tough. This is getting sent down and not being happy about it and pouting and retiring. And we got to be mentally tougher than that. You're not going to make it at the biggest level in the world if you can't be mentally tough and handle your struggles. But look, drama, drama, drama. That's what happened this past week with Yermin Mercedes. Retiring, unretiring, now he's back. and we'll see if he makes it back to the big leagues. Like Tony La Russa said, he believes he has a future. But look, bringing this all home, the Detroit Tigers. I want to talk to you guys about the Detroit Tigers, the organization that I played in for 5 years, that my family has been a part of for almost 20 years, it seems, 18 years. The Tigers are in a really good place right now. And look, they don't have the best roster on paper. They weren't expected to compete this year, but you know what they're doing? They're competing. And they came out of the All-Star break winning 7 straight games, and they became fun to watch. And it got me to thinking, why? How is this happening? How is this happening right now? And you know why? It's because of the top. It's because of the guy at the top leading this team. AJ Hinch comes over to the Tigers after this offseason, and he is leading this team incredibly. And we talked to Michael Fulmer, friend of the podcast, earlier this year, and asked him about AJ Hinch, and he just said it's different. It just feels different what he's doing. And you can see it. This team shouldn't be winning games, but they are. And it makes me so excited for the future of this team, because for so many years we were told the future of this team is close. The pitching staff is going to lead the way. We have our guys coming. We have our guys coming. They're here. And that's the coolest part of all this, is for so many years the pitching staff was coming, and that's what fans had to look forward to. And now they're here. Guys like Skubal and Matt Manning and Casey Mize, they're doing incredible at the big league level. And you have them led by AJ Hinch, and now it's gone from the pitching is the future and just trust us. It's coming, it's coming, it's coming. You can see it. You get to see it now. You can see it happening. And now what we're being told is the future of the offense is coming. Just trust us. The future is coming of the offense. And this is what gets me more excited than anything. Spencer Torkelson, Riley Green, Dingler, these guys are coming. And they're not just like guys that have turned themselves into prospects. They're big-time guys that I am telling you right now are going to be all-stars at the big league level. Spencer Torkelson is 1-1 in the draft. First overall pick out of Arizona State, an absolute stud. Riley Green was the 5th overall pick, a high school guy. Goes and gets it better in the outfield than people that I've seen in a long time. And he rakes at the plate. These guys are the real deal. And they have the right guy leading the helm in Detroit right now in AJ Hinch. If you aren't excited about the future of the Detroit Tigers organization, then the only explanation for that is you're a fan of somebody else in the AL Central. Because this team is going to be fun. In my opinion, they aren't 1 year away. In my opinion, they are 2 years away from being a playoff team. This year, we're seeing it. We're seeing the glimpses of what's to come. Next year, we're going to get to see those guys like Torkelson and Green make their debuts. I don't know if they'll make the team right off the jump, but they're close. And at some point next year, they're going to be there. And then 2 years away from really becoming that team where it all meshes together, and you have AJ Hinch and this new young pitching staff and these new young guys, and then you look like, then you add a piece, a veteran piece. Who knows? Maybe my brother. That'd be awesome. But they are close. The Detroit Tigers are coming, and it is so exciting to watch them. As a guy that played in that organization and knows a lot of guys in that organization, it's really, really exciting to see. And they come out of the All-Star break winning 7 games and pushing themselves up towards the top of this division. But it's the future of these guys that makes me super excited. Thanks for watching. If you love flipping bats, swinging 3-0, or just talking ball, join us. Call us at 213-537-9339 with your questions. We have a weekly guest, and we have a lot of fun, so hit that subscribe button.